Hi YouTube, I'm doing a quick Q&A video for you all like I've posted on my Instagram. I asked what questions you would want me to answer. So I'm just going to address a few of them just quickly. So the first question, it's kind of two questions, yeah? So what are your favorite muscle groups to train at the gym and what is your routine for it? So I think definitely my favorite muscle group to train at the gym, like what I enjoy the most and what like feels the best or whatever, is definitely quads. And so, for example, yesterday training quads, what I start off with first, well, actually, what I want to say is I don't always just stick to the same routine. So I sort of keep the same kind of structure, which would be start off with some kind of like heavy compound movement. So for example, you could start with something like high bar squats or front squats for your quad day as your first exercise to start off with. So something that you can lift a little bit heavy on, and something maybe that's a compound movement. I think that is the best way to start off. So what I did, for example, yesterday, I would start off with high bar squats and, do 10 reps, or you could go a bit heavier and do less reps if you want. And then straight from that, what I like to do is hack squat, very sort of light to moderate weight, and keeping the weight on my toes, keeping the pressure on my toes just to engage the quads. Then followed by 50 rep leg presses. So what I'll do, I'll start off with something heavy, do, low reps, like 10 is probably low reps for me lately with how I'm training. And then go on to just high rep stuff. So I sort of do use strength at the start, and then the rest is just whatever I can just get out until failure, and a lot of supersets. So leg press sets of 50 reps, one plate either side, and followed by leg extensions, which I sometimes just don't count that. I'll just put as much weight as I can do, go till failure, drop the weight, go till failure, just lots of drop sets. Then like superset that with lunges or something. So I always do change it, and I sort of just go with whatever I want to do on the day, like whatever I'm feeling on the day. So my next question, what are your favorite foods/meals? So if I'm talking about clean foods to eat, what I've been doing a lot lately is just the usual, like chicken, broccoli. Sometimes I'll put different vegetables, but like it's pretty basic and pretty boring. Rice as well. Lately, kind of eating pumpkin as a carb, because I go on and off foods. I definitely go on and off foods, so I'll prep my food every 3 days, and then I'll keep the same sort of macros in the meals that I make. So for like meal one, I'll make a certain meal with certain macros. For example, I might use chicken and rice or whatever, and then the next time I'll use I pretty much have only been using rice lately, and pumpkin is kind of like a carbs, but I'll put that as well. I won't just use that just as carbs. But then, I'll change it with like beef or something. I pretty much just changing between chicken and beef because I get sick of it easily. So every 3 days I'll change my food. And then it's fresh that way as well. I don't eat any frozen food or anything like that because it's just yuck. But I find that I can enjoy food that way, like enjoy eating cleaner food that way if I just cook it every 3 days and just swap between like chicken and beef or something. But for like, junk food, just sugar, like chocolate and ice cream and just anything sugar. And another question that I have, the next question that I have is, what is your morning routine? So you know, actually, I just want to put this with another question. What is your training routine? So what is your morning routine? What is your training routine? It's different every single day, because, you know, Mondays I work in the morning. I've got a break in the middle of the day where I can train, and then I work until night. Tuesdays I train in the morning. Wednesdays, Thursdays I train in the morning. Friday I normally will have to have a rest, or I can train a little bit in the middle of the day because I work 9 till 9 on Fridays. And Saturdays I have to train at nighttime. Sundays I usually train in the afternoon, like after I do all like cooking and everything that has to be done. So my morning routine changes. Like, it changes how I'll have to eat that day as well. I have to eat differently every day because some days I'll have to train early, some days I'll have to train later after working a little bit. So it's pretty weird. I have to just, you know, you have to suit your training routine to your lifestyle. Like, not everyone's just gonna get up and train every morning before work and then that's it, and then they can eat the same every day or they can train the same every day. It has to go with what your schedule is and what's realistic for your life. So I used to train at nighttime, and then I would, you know, train after work. So I'd end up training at like 11 at night every night, and then I'd sleep in really late and go to work that way. But I felt like that didn't really make me feel good. Like, I like to just be, you know, up early and then sleep at nighttime. So you just gotta find like what works for you, and everyone has time to fit in training. Literally anyone can fit it in somehow. You don't have to stick to any set sort of routine that every single person uses. You have to do your way. You just have to find your own way. And yeah, so what is your training routine? My next question. With my training routine, like a split or whatever, I don't actually have a split. I don't follow like a specific routine. Like, so yesterday was Tuesday, I did quads. Sometimes Tuesday I'll do arms, or I'll do like chest or something. It's just, I go with my body. Like, some people call it freestyle, but it's like, it's a bit more like, there's a lot more sense to it than that. So what I'll actually do is I just listen to my body. Like, if I find that I'm recovering quickly in one area, I can train it faster. Like, I can train it closer together. Or yeah, it goes as well with like how I train. Like, sometimes I don't feel as strong, so I train higher reps. Sometimes I feel stronger, so, you know, progressive overload isn't always just counting, today I did this exercise, I did this weight, I did this reps. It's just always train harder. If you're always trying to train harder, and if you're always pushing yourself a little bit harder, you are in a way, you know, incorporating progressive overload into your training. So you just have to think of it that way. But, you know, some people like to have a 7-day split because they're really routine sort of people and they're set in their way. But, you know, for me, obviously, I just go with what works for me at the time. Obviously, sometimes I'll have to have like a random rest day, so I'll catch up on a different muscle group. Also, I'm happy to do things like just, you know, I don't really do things like train abs or train arms. Like, I'll do them on a random occasion when I feel like it needs to be done. Like, just when, you know, just so that it is done. But I don't find that personally for me that that's what I want to put into a set routine for myself. So yeah, I just do things my own way and what works for me. So that is my routine, I guess. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to address today for my Q&A video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. If you do ever have any other questions, I always do answer questions on my Instagram. Thank you. Bye.